We're in the middle of a conversation between Jesus and Nicodemus. We're coming to verse 7 of chapter 3 of the Gospel. Jesus has just told Nicodemus that there is a sharp distinction between what Jesus calls flesh and what he calls spirit, probably connected to the similar analysis that the Apostle Paul will make in Romans and Galatians, the idea that there is the flesh and there is the spirit, and these two are in a struggle with one another. Jesus is simply here emphasizing that flesh in and of itself is not able to attain to the things of the Spirit. Nicodemus is apparently expressing surprise at that, because Jesus will here tell him or ask him not to be surprised, or ask him why he is surprised, you might say, because Nicodemus is probably operating on the assumption, the opinion, that a certain degree of fleshly achievement does bring you into the benefits of the Spirit, that your education, your birth, your privilege, all of which Nicodemus himself enjoyed in a significant measure, should count for something. And Jesus, in effect, is saying at this point that it doesn't count for anything, really, that it's all flesh. Flesh is flesh, and the flesh is not going to profit in the great scheme of God's work in this world. One has to be born anew, born again, born from above. And that, of course, is what he re-emphasizes here in verse 7, saying, me thaumases. Me with the subjunctive is the one of the ways in Greek in which the prohibition is expressed. It can also involve me with the present indicative, which would be unusual. May is usually not used in the indicative mood. Here we have the subjunctive, which would imply that Jesus is addressing him in a kind of a pointed way here, not referring to ongoing surprise as a way of life, but rather at this moment as we're having this conversation, do not be surprised, do not marvel, hoti, that, apon, first person singular, aorist, active indicative, don't be surprised that I said soy, pronoun, second person singular, that I said to you, de, this is the third person singular, it is necessary, humas, de takes the accusative of the one concerning whom this necessity is applied. It is necessary for you, genethenai, again from genao, which literally means I give birth. This is the infinitive, aorist, passive, and so don't marvel that I said to you that it's necessary to be born anothen. And again, that same word that we ran into before, which combines two ideas, born from above, but also born again. So born anew, or as we were suggesting earlier, something on the order of born from the top. And so that's what Jesus is reminding Nicodemus and saying to him, that he shouldn't be surprised to hear that this should be something that would not catch him off guard, that there is this birth that must require an intrusion of spirit, and that nothing that we do in and of the manipulation of the flesh is able to achieve that. It's reminiscent of what John himself was remarking back in the first chapter, when he said that those who were born not of the flesh, nor of the will of man, but of God. This is in some ways revisiting that same theme, and simply once again highlighting the importance of this aspect of the life of faith.